Hello, I'm Dr. Umahani. As a homeopathic doctor, we are granted a rare privilege that most other medical professionals never experience. Whether you compare us with allopathic doctors, Unani practitioners, or Ayurvedic physicians, the level of emotional access a homeopath receives is unique. The most sensitive and personal matters, stories that even a daughter may hesitate to share in her maternal home or describe to her own family, she freely tells her homeopath. Patients open up to us in ways they don't open up anywhere else. As homeopaths, we don't just treat a patient, we see the story behind their door. We observe closely, listen deeply, and form such a strong bond that we gain insight into the most guarded corners of a family's struggles, the secrets, the silent pain, the unspoken wounds. Because we understand their inner world, their home environment, their emotional setbacks, their failures, their turning points, their breakthroughs. We don't just diagnose the illness, we witness the life exam that shaped it. Because in life, everyone's life's exam is written differently. The question paper is different, the timing of trials is never identical. A homeopath becomes a safe space, a confidant, and slowly, a part of the family's emotional ecosystem. Our connection is so deep that we don't just know what symptoms they have, we know what storms they have survived. And truly, no homeopath ever feels like an outsider, because every patient eventually makes them a part of their family. In psychology, this situation is referred to as therapeutic alliance. This is the deep emotional trust and professional bond a patient forms. It includes emotional safety, unfiltered sharing, feeling understood without judgment, homeopath becoming the witness to personal life stories, the patient seeing the doctor as someone who truly gets them, where patients suppress emotions and finally release them only to someone they feel safest with. You're not just a doctor in their story. You become the chapter they never knew they could speak out loud. And that is the power and privilege of being a homeopath. We treat the mind, the person, the story, the family, the root, not just the disease. It is a powerful saying that we should learn from others' experiences. Never fall into the same pit when you can avoid it. If someone else is slipping, let their fall teach you, so you don't tumble into the same hole. And this is exactly what happens when you sit in front of your patients as a homeopath. You witness their life journey, their struggles, their mistakes, their emotional battles, and healing begins in that shared space. They pour out their experiences, their setbacks, their failures, their lessons, and after a long journey of recovery, they eventually stand up and walk away stronger. Sometimes I feel that homeopaths are loved by the Almighty on a different level, because even though we may be carrying our own storms, our own struggles, our own unanswered questions, even when life gets overwhelming and we feel buried under problems, the moment we start listening to the patient's story, we unexpectedly begin finding clarity for ourselves too. It feels as if God sends guidance wrapped in someone else's wounds, teaching us lessons through lives we are treating. Truly, wisdom often comes from a classroom you never enrolled in. This deep emotional exchange is a beautiful, soul-stirring experience I have personally lived as a homeopath, and I can say with absolute certainty that I will never, ever leave this profession or try to squeeze myself into any other system of medicine. I refuse to trade a path I love for a system I cannot feel. This journey takes time, sometimes long, sometimes slow, but it is worth it. Because as they say, some roads are long, not to test your speed, but to teach your soul. And I would never abandon a calling that turned exhaustion into meaning and pain into purpose.
हमारे मुल्क का शहरी समाज में अगर उसे कहा जाए कि ये शराबी है, ये जुआड़ी है, ये गजेड़ी है, उसको समझना चाहिए कि वो समाज की नजरों से गिर गया ना, समाज से उसका कैरेक्टर समाज की निगाहों से उतर गया। हालांकि मसला क्या होना चाहिए? मसला ये होना चाहिए कि जवान है, हमारा बच्चा है, हमारी नजरों में अपनी कैरेक्टर से बुलंद रहना चाहिए। नशा करने वाला समाज और नशा करने वाला फर्द और नौजवान अपने घर नहीं, पूरे समाज से गिर जाता है, और एक बार जब गिर जाता है कोई, तो उसका उठना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। इसीलिए कहा था किसी ने कि वही जवां है कबीले की आंख का तारा, शबाब जिसका हो बेदाग, जर्ब हो कारी, बहुत मुअज्जज होता है वो नौजवान, हाँ, जिसकी जवानी की जिंदगी और नौजवानी की जिंदगी उसकी इस तरह की गिरावटों से, पस्तियों से बुलंद हो। इसलिए इन चीजों का ख्याल रखने की जरूरत है।